G'day, doggies fans, all things Bulldogs. It's episode 50 of the podcast. Dane was supposed to be on tonight, but he's succumbed to illness, which is no good. Soft as. But anyway, if you want to come on the show, let us know. I'll send you an invite, but it's all good. I'm happy to sit here and talk to everyone, go through your comments and all that sort of stuff. Team Tuesday after a loss to the Cowboys. Got a bit to talk about tonight, but it shouldn't go too long, hopefully. But that will depend on how much interaction comes through the channel, which is always good. Good to learn some stuff, get some questions answered about things by you guys, which is good as well. And I'll provide my insight as usual. Don't like beating the chest. Don't like having a crack at the club or the team for certain things in hindsight. But, you know, we'll ask questions if we don't understand decisions or whatever that is. But welcome to the few people that have logged on so far. Come on and say hello in the chat. Would be nice. Got any questions or thoughts about the Cowboys game? We'll mention Jared Sutton, that slime bag again. First half, I felt all these decisions were pretty much spot on. And we were our own worst enemy, which come back to bite us. But then from the get-go, he gave them a leg up. Even the first two penalties were probably 50-50 and were justifiable. But that fourth tackle, 6 again after a great tackle by Jacob Curran and Burton, for what I understand may have been for a flop, was ridiculous. It was a fast play ball still ensued. After such a beautiful tackle, there's just no reward for it. And then, you know, obviously after that, we hold them out with gritty line defence, as we always do, before Blake Wilson puts his hands on their centre, Valia, and just before he scores. And there you go. G'day, Mark. How you going, mate? Good to have you on here, my friend. I hope you're fit and healthy. If you want to come on and bring your face on here, let me know, mate, and hear your thoughts. I like to see you more after we win than after we lose, though, if you know what I mean. Win or lose, I feel the way that we play, as frustrating as it can be sometimes, it's just seeing that effort for 80 minutes for our team every week by the players is much better. Obviously, there's still more improvements needed there, but this team puts in. They really do. And there's some interesting stuff that's come out about the Dogs this week. So Jason Demetriou has actually said that he thinks that the small ball's going to fall away as the conditions dry out. And we're going to get a pretty dry track. Won't be a second, Mark. We'll get a pretty dry track. And he thinks that with the bigger teams, with, you know, the firmer footing, from what I say, we've got a little bit of, could be a few issues with my internet's been ridiculous. I've had so many texts out here to fix it and stuff, but if anything happens, I'll tether it to the mobile phone, and that seems to work all right. Mark, if you go and check I don't know if you're on the admin thing, I'll send you an invite now. I posted in the comments here, see how many people try to jump in. First in, best dressed. Let's see if this works. So click on that, Mark, and if you've got your camera, you can come on and have a chat with me. So we're going to talk a bit about Sutton. We're going to talk a bit about what's coming up, my fears about what's going to happen. I think there's an element of truth in what Jason Demetriou said. It was more around the fact that losing Max King was huge for us, and losing that game to the Cowboys could really come back to bite us. I've been worried about this draw for the last 10 weeks, for the last 15 weeks. And this period now, I felt we won some games and we got some luck with the Warriors and the Sharks. We have to say that there was some luck in those wins, which we deserve, I believe, and we need. And it was fair time. We got a bit of luck as well, and we made our own luck as well. But It definitely come back to bite us against the Cowboys in that second half. Jared Sutton just did what Jared Sutton does. When there's a 50-50 here to play, it just doesn't go the Bulldogs' way when we need it to. And that certainly happened again. And yet another game. I think in games he's refereed us over the last 5 years, it'd be 80% or more we've had a player sin binned, which gives you a little indication. It's not working. I'll send it to you directly, mate. Give me a sec. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I will do it. We will get you on here, my friend. Don't you worry about that. Sorry, we'll get what D's got to say here. Start of the Cowboys game felt like the Raiders game. The end of the game felt like the South St Melbourne's game. Yeah, you're probably right, D. I just felt that the mistakes were bad. I suppose with Curran dropping that football and there he is. Look at this fella. Add him to the page. There you go, mate.
Trying to find the light there, Michael.
You've seen the light, did you say?
Just trying to find the light. And there you are.
You're looking good, mate. How are you?
I'm feeling much better. Thank you, buddy.
We had a bit of a chat about you on here, as we usually do. Oh, look at that. The 2004 winning logo.
Look at that. Hey, that's inspiring, isn't it?
Just to be a bit of a,
Yeah, don't go bragging. Hey, don't go bragging.
Not bragging. My son bought it for me.
Did he?
Yeah.
I like him already.
My missus probably paid for it, but he gave it to me wrapped up. The little racing car there, my dad actually built the car that won that, and his brother drove it. Parramatta Speedway back in 1981, but just
before they closed it down.
Yeah.
Bit rude.
Pretty much everyone in my family's got talent except me. So that's why I'm here talking. They don't talk, they do. So
I know how you feel.
Yeah. That's good to see you, mate. I'm glad you're out of the
Fantastic to see you. Will I be seeing you at the Suncorp Stadium this weekend?
Well, mate, I'm still in two minds because I originally thought that it was a night game because it usually always is at Suncorp for the Bulldogs.
Yep.
And stupid me, agreed to do some work and stuff and commit to a client, and but I can still sort of maybe make it. But yeah, there's hardly any tickets left, mate.
It's all sold out. Yep.
It's going to be good. Like this is going to be a tough game, and I'm glad you're here because there's some stuff Jason Demetrio said that I'm really I sort of buy into it a little bit. I respect his opinion a lot on it. But at the same time, I think playing in the daytime it might suit us coming home because they're not used to it, the Broncos playing in the day.
No, exactly right.
And we are. We've been playing Sunday afternoon at 2:00 in the hottest part of the day for the last 5 years.
Exactly right.
Yeah. So there you go. So, look, there's no excuses either way. I think the team's showing that they can be in the game, and it's going to come down to moments. And if we do things right, we'll be a shot.
I think with the dry weather, we'll miss less tackles. I think the Broncos won't be in trouble.
Well, I hope so. We seem to we miss a lot. We have a lot of talk about the missed tackles, you and I.
We do, because we miss more than anyone in the competition, as you know.
We're only missing like 5 less per game than last year. To me,
we miss more than everybody else. So
we're doing
almost.
We let in less tries than everybody else.
So what does that tell you?
It tells me that they're playing a style to suit the team that they've got.
No, their attitude is very good.
They got good scramble.
Excellent scramble. But
in the definition that you call scramble, yes.
yes, but it is tiring, isn't it? It's tiring defense.
It is. But if they give up possession, 78 possessions actually a good stat for most teams that do well. 78% completion, I should say. Teams that complete at 78%. It means they have a crack with the ball.
Yes, we can.
And make some mistakes, but they also hold on to it when they need to.
Which we don't. We seem to put the ball in bad field position and allow the other teams into the contest a fair amount of time.
But the good thing is we seem to like defending on our own line, which is a dogs of war trait, to be honest.
It is, and our defence has been outstanding all year. So credit to Serraldo and the defence team for that.
Yeah, well, credit to the whole coaching squad. There's definitely, I think the addition of Jason Taylor was it was one that many people questioned, and especially knowing that Jason Taylor was the one who replaced Mick Potter, who was going pretty well with the West Tigers.
Well, I think Mick Potter's found a home in the reserve grade, hasn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, I think Mick Potter's, he never wanted the job initially.
No.
He was reluctant because he got burnt so bad. He just loves giving back to rugby league, and I think he's quite good with the young guys. The fact that he doesn't entertain any fools, but he likes giving young guys a go and getting them in there. And I think we're seeing it with players like that he brought in back in 2022. Players like Curtis Moran, they're all starting to hit their straps.
Yep.
People have got a taste, like Harrison Edwards, although he went to the Cowboys. He was another one that come through. And there's a few that have gone to other clubs as well that are doing all right.
Have we discussed Harry Hayes yet?
Mate, what a phenomenal debut. What did you think?
I thought he was outstanding. I thought he'll be in first grade for a long time. I've seen a bit of David Clemmer about him, actually.
Look, for someone who's played most of his career at centre, his grandfather, I'm going to play his little 1 minute, Pete put it up on All Things Bulldogs. I'm going to play that in a minute for everyone to see. It's just good. It only goes for about a minute. But I just felt it defensively, he was a real animal as well. And he started to, he had that one flop play, but I felt that was a bullshit decision against us, considering Burton dropped off the player, and he had every right to think the player was going to run off and run with the footy.
Absolutely.
And it's only because it's one of those situations in a game where because the player dropped the footy, the ref calls it a penalty or calls it a knock on. When for me in that situation they should just say, pick the ball up and play it. You held, play the fucking football.
Yeah, exactly.
There's so many times where they slowed down our momentum through stuff that and we're allowed to get away with it. And I think situations like that should be the same. But
do you like the way
they always call it a penalty or a drop.
Do you like the way it accelerates into the line rather than stops, like a lot of other players do?
I think he needs to do that. And when you look at players like Harry Hayes and the Prestons and the Carrazas, they have this body shape. They're not thick. You know what I mean? They're tall and
yes,
and they poke through the line really, really well. He did a phenomenal job, as I said. Even Curtis Moran, that little nugget, complete different body shape, obviously, but he getting him past the 20 off the kickoff at that size is. I haven't seen that too often.
The bundle of energy.
And he's one who'll miss 3 or 4 tackles a game due to his size, but same with Bailey Haywood. But they actually knock the player over and make them easy fodder because of the line speed. It's either that or it goes down as a what do they call an ineffective tackle, but it is
Correct.
effective.
Well, it's not really, is it?
Well, if they're falling over, it's effective in my opinion because the other players are straight on them. But
yeah. Okay. Well, fair enough.
it depends. If they get a quick play the ball away, it's not effective.
No.
So I think it's context.
And what are your thoughts on Kickow on the weekend? He missed 8.
Again, he's always been missed a heap of tackles, even at Penrith. He averaged 4 missed tackles a game.
Doubled his count on the weekend.
High pressure shortens up that edge. Like the Cowboys have scored heaps of points against sides this year. We cramped them for room all day, and Kickout's responsible for that. But obviously he's just broken his hand and stuff as well, and was getting fatigued. I honestly thought they were going to replace Preston with Harry Hayes during the game. But Preston just lapped it up for 80 minutes. He was great.
Yeah, of course.
Look for hey?
He always will be, yes. He's an 80-minute player.
Yeah, and I was thinking maybe Kickout needs a break at a couple of times because he puts a lot of energy in. I don't know.
I agree.
Some people call him lazy, but I think he tries his heart out. He leads his kick chase, but sometimes he's just not as effective as he could be. I felt he could have had a few more runs in that first half too.
Yes. Both Preston and Kickout were not very effective on the weekend at all. Both run for less than 100 metres, and they both played the entire game. So,
how many tackles did they make?
Not many. Certainly not as much as my man Josh Curran.
Our man Josh Curran.
Our man Josh Curran, yes. Yours and mine, Michael, isn't that right?
That's right. And another one we missed out on, Kurt Mann was phenomenal in that first half.
Yes.
With his defence.
But Josh Curran, 43 tackles, game leader, 203 metres, game high.
Oh, Max King drops out, Curran drops in.
Yeah, with very impressive figures.
Yeah. Well, the stats didn't lie on that occasion. And what sucked for Josh Curran was that he got hit in the head, and then
you're right. Yeah,
they let it go, and then Dearden goes through the next set, and
that's
the Sutton factor. That's the Sutton factor right there, because if that happened the first half to either team, I think he calls a penalty.
That's Gerard Sutton. So if it's got blue and white on, it's probably play on, and it was.
Well, the stats don't lie when it comes to Gerard Sutton.
Well, they don't, and they're pretty damning, I would say. Not sure why the NRL doesn't look at it and say, it's beyond a joke now.
I think I was saying this at the start, I think you'd look at it, the last 5 years, 80% of matches he's refed against us, he's sent someone off to the bin.
Yes, and he succeeded again on the weekend for about 0.2 of a millisecond.
Yeah.
Of an early tackle. That was just absurd. Absolutely absurd. And he should be stood down for the next 3 years, preferably.
I agree. All right. So Dee made the comment earlier before you jumped on and interrupted my response rudely.
I apologise.
You're apologising.
Well, I do apologise.
I'm the apologist.
I can't see the comments. I don't know why.
I think you got to click on chat or something. But Dee says start. I think you clicked mute, mate.
I clicked mute. Did I?
Oh, there you go. So, no, you're right. What happened? Come back, Mark. Anyway, Dean. We lost Mark. He's pressed the exit button somehow. And I was enjoying having a chat with Mark. He's a very knowledgeable of the game, and he doesn't me and him butt heads quite a few times in our analysis, which is what you want. You don't want two people just agreeing with each other all the time. D said start of the Cowboys game felt like the Raiders game, end of the game felt like South and Melbourne. So Curran knocked the ball on, leads to a try. One of our best players. There was a rumour being posted before the game, which I'm pretty wasn't happy about, and I sort of bought into it that he was missing the game as he got injured in the warm up, and that Gerald Skelton was going to play, and but apparently that wasn't true. Got to see where this Mark O'Connell's gone. So we've talked a bit about Sutton, the Sutton factor, and some of those moments in the game. I'm going to talk about the Broncos as well, and why I think we can win, and why it's going to be very hard to win. But either way, g'day Scary79. How are you, mate? And g'day Wally the Mad Wally. Not met you, I don't think, Wally. I can't remember you being on, so welcome to the podcast. Where are you, Mark? Anyway, we'll keep going. If anyone wants to join the podcast, join the live, let me know. We can all go on. But I was really enjoying that with Mark. Sorry that he's left. I thought it was good. Something's happened there. But anyway, I'll call him. See what happens. Oh, here he is. He's back.
I tell you what, Michael, as a tech-savvy person, I'm a good bus driver.
Very good bus driver.
Sorry about that.
Wally the Mad Wally says I was pretty plastered last time he commented. Well, I think I've had a few drinks once that I've ever been on, mate. So it must have been that time. Because I don't remember you. I don't remember what happened. I know. Can you tell me what episode it was? I better go. I might need to delete it.
Yeah, that episode 1, Michael.
G'day, Adams World TV. How you going, Adam? You're on the Adams World TV channel tonight. Oh, the night before Origin 1. There you go. G'day, brother. Welcome back. All right, let's get into it, Mark. So I said we're going to talk about this Broncos game. We sort of touched on.
Michael.
You'll be there. What section are you in?
I have no idea, but it's pretty well sold out. Single seats only. So I think I'm up at the Milton Street end.
Oh, good. Up top in the non-alcohol section.
Nosebleed seats, yeah.
Well, 317. There was one spot left for Savo in the away team section. It's where I normally sit.
Okay.
I might be still a chance of going yet, but yeah, tickets are selling out. Like, this is do or die for the Broncos. I penciled this game in the ladder predictor as a loss. Sorry. You just try and do things as honestly as possible. There you go, Mick Winterbine. Another first-time viewer, I think. Welcome to... Hey?
I said, hello, Mick. What's he got to say?
I don't know.
Oh, no, I can't see any comments, so...
Adam, if you want to look what happens, stories about what happens in prison and stuff like that, jump on Adam's channel.
Oh,
Good bloke.
Yeah, okay.
Everyone that doesn't know, this is Aussie Prison Talk. It used to be called Aussie Prison Story. So a man has come out and turned his life around. Good on you, Adam.
Good on you, Adam.
And I love listening to it, mate. And I love, it's good lessons for people as well.
Probably got a few soap on the rope stories.
I don't want to hear about them. You know, I've got a big family. My brother spent lots of time in jail as well, but
Yeah, mine too.
But you wouldn't know that now. He was in Goulburn and Long Bay.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, back in the 70s. So
Oh, definitely nice.
that's why I was a good boy, because he taught me to be a good boy. G'day, Gav, bro. How you going, mate? Welcome to the channel. Good. Let's talk Bulldogs. All right. So this Broncos game, we'll talk about that. What's your thoughts?
Back.
What's your thoughts on it, Mark? Tell me about it.
Cowboys back, and that's
Yep.
a danger. They dropped a forward. I can't remember who it was. Piquera, was it?
He came off late with an injury, so the fact that he's named means that I think if he's fit, he'll come back into the side for Tapau or maybe Blake Moser, because they've got Tyson Smoothie on the bench anyway.
Yeah, and that fella from the Origin, he was in a moon boot there for a while. He might not be 100%.
So let's have a look at the team listing. What's going on over there? Bit of noise out there, Mark.
Sorry, buddy. Let me just move
You're
over
all right,
here.
mate.
That would be the air conditioning unit.
Ah, nice. You got the reverse cycle heating on.
It's very, very cheap here, Michael.
I don't know if you can read that, people, but we've got Reece Walsh, Selwyn Cobbo, Katoni Staggs, Dean Mariner, Jesse Arthurs. That's pretty much their best backline. Ezra Mann and Adam Reynolds. That's their side. Corey Oates, I think he scored a try against the Bulldogs in his last 5 games or something. So he might come in. It's interesting they've named players in the side that have all played for the Bulldogs, which a lot of teams do. Name players that are playing against their old clubs or have links to the clubs. In saying that, Kobe Hetherington has a link to the Bulldogs through his dad.
Yep.
And a player I would target if I was a Bulldogs selector, or if I was Gus or Cameron Serrato, I'd definitely look for a Kobe Hetherington. Jordan Ricky's back after suspension. He's a very good player. Patrick Carrigan, we know all about him. Billy Walters. There's no real weak links in that side. That's their best side on paper. Blake Moser has been...
No Adam Reynolds still?
Adam's there, mate. He played last week.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he's a thorn in our side, mate.
Sure.
Ever since he did his hammy in the prelim in 2012, he's and we raced away in that game and then lost the grand final. He's been a thorn in our side ever since. Blake Moser, Tyson Smoothie, Xavier Willison, who's who scored a try. It's funny because this was the game of Josh Reynolds' last match, where they had a lot of players out from Origin, the Broncos, and still ran roughshod. With Jackson Torpene actually conceded 3 tries pretty much on his own.
Yes.
Yeah. And then after that, never played another game again. So it's and then Marty Tapo, and then on the extended bench they got Peter Cora, who's a very scary player, and he's another kid that we nearly signed. It was actually reported that we'd sign him on a 3-year deal.
Yeah.
When he was really young, and he was the next big thing coming through, and the Broncos threw money at him to keep him, and then he didn't play for another 2 years. So very good player. It's no wonder we wanted him. And then you've got Corey Oates could be one to come into the side as well. So
I thought Corey Oates was out of the side.
Yeah, sorry, it's a bit small, Adam. You can tell I've said that before. Sorry, it's a bit small. There you go. But we try and get it up there for people.
So it's not a prison side, is it?
Yeah, it's a pretty shit side the Broncos have got, hasn't it?
Pretty bad side. I think if you get rid of Walsh, I think that will go be a long way to winning that game, I would imagine.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm worried about. You know, when he gets to play on the front foot at speed, he's so hard to contain.
He is very hard, yes. So Curran, his game.
Hey?
Curran will have to be on his game.
Definitely. They're all going to have to be on their game. And I think Bronson Cherry will be a target out there with you got Critter with Blake. Which side Blake Wilson playing? He's playing on the
left at the moment.
So he's playing with Bronson and Jacobs playing with Critter.
Yes. Is that not right? That's right.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah.
It's been played at Suncorp Stadium, Adam. We haven't won there since 2015. It's been played in the daytime now.
But we will this weekend, Adam.
I'm hoping we'll win this weekend, mate.
In the bag, Adam. The bag. Put your house on it.
G'day, Valerio Di Battista. He's flying down to watch. He'll be at Suncorp Stadium, and he'll be with his sons to see the match.
Nice.
He's hoping to catch up with me there. So if you don't catch up with me, mate,
it's hard. It's very hard.
With the real dog father, Mark O'Connell. He's actually the dog father's, hitman. Just quietly.
I just take care of the dog father. That's all right.
He goes missing for a few weeks. You know what's happening. He's paying old Buzz Rockfield a visit.
Yeah.
Drives a bus through his front yard.
Hey, old Buzz. The Slothfield.
Who's the ref? I'm not too sure. We need to find that out. It's on the.
I hope it's not Sutton, because Sutton's a real Brisbane man.
He sure is. I'm going to have a look at it. Let's check it out. It's a good noise coming through there again, Ma.
Sorry, brother. I can't shut it down. I'm at my daughter's place at the moment. She's got all the appliances running.
All right. Thanks for joining All Things Bulldogs too, Scary. We're a good little community, mate.
We seen Weber?
Nah, Pete's still sad from the loss on the weekend. He's pissed off. So was I.
Weren't we all?
We're pissed off at the fact we gave away so many dumb penalties, but then pissed off at the ref. If the ref gives us 2 or 3, just half of those 50-50 calls in the second half, or blatant wrong calls the other way, we go a long way to winning that match. But
what's going on for Burton's boot? That's what I want to know. Is he a bit off this year? Is he?
His boot?
Yeah.
You're talking about
goal kicking.
Well, he hit him at 84% last year. He was like second or third best in the comp. But less pressure, see? But look, the way I see goal kicking, mate, is we'll never know if someone else took the kick, would they have got it? We'll never know.
Sexton's a pretty good kicker.
Yes, it's funny because Sexy had some shockers, missed some shockers in reserve grade at the start of the season, and he rushed a few kicks when he didn't need to and stuff. But I think they got up him about it because he's been locked in for a bit since about round 6 or 7.
Yeah,
it means nailing him, and that's all he can do. That's all he can keep doing. But I want to talk a lot about Toby Sexton tonight because it's I think that his short kicking game, we finally got to see the asset, his best asset in the game. But if he can get any sort of play the ball, no matter what the situation in that 20, and the players know it's on, for us to score, 2 tries from kicks off Toby's boot. I remember the game in 2022. Now, this was at Commonbank Stadium. We played the Titans. We looked like a 50-point better side in that match. There was 11,000 fans. They were screaming Tino is a wanker because he choked Bert in Origin and then let go guy hit him. Yes. But Toby Sexton got 4 try assists off kicks in that game to keep him in the match. And he'd only had a few games that year as well after getting him to the semis the year before when they brought him in as pretty much as a debutant, as a fresh player. So that he loves the way the club's handled him this year. He said he's focused. His defence is what I've loved in the last few weeks. Had a little moment there on the weekend, but you can't expect these halves to make every tackle.
No, you can't.
They are going to miss tackles. It's
he makes a lot of them, though,
the game's played. Huh?
He makes a lot of them, though.
He's at the start of the season, he wouldn't have made those tackles. I don't believe that the tackles that Hutch made at the start of the season, I don't think Toby makes them. He's seasoned, he's confident, and I think we're seeing better out of him because of the way they've managed it. And that's going to set us up for a better long-term future, I believe. I think this kid is a halfback every day of the week, and I think he'll play hundreds of NRL matches if he doesn't get injured.
Yep.
But like every half, look at Adam Reynolds. How old is he? 74 or something.
Yeah, close.
Yeah. So you've got to give him time to develop. You have to give him time to develop in and out of first grade. You could see what Robinson did with Sam Walker. Yes. Brought Hutchison in to replace him. The team improved, got confidence defensively, made their run, bring Sam back. They looked like they were going to challenge last year but fell short. And this year, they probably need to go to another level to match the intensity of a Melbourne Storm or a Penrith Panthers or a Brisbane Broncos even, I was going to say, at their best. But Sam Walker, he'll be worth $1.5 million in a couple of years, I believe, the way he plays. So I think Toby Sexton, I don't know if he's that good, but I think he's got the potential to go anywhere because he's got all the skills. Kicks goals. He's got a long kicking game. He's a right foot kicker. Can play a right edge and a left edge. Can play both sides of the field, which him and Burton have been doing really well. Yes. You know about Toby. You've known all along. We both have. I just believe they managed him the right way, and we're starting to bear the fruits of it. Big game, this. Big game. What do you think, Mark?
Huge
Tell
game.
me what's going to happen.
Huge game. I think we win it in the forwards, which is a surprising thing to say considering everyone denounces our forwards as small and soft, but I think we win it there. And I think our back five has got the points in them. So if we contain Walsh, I don't think we've got a lot to answer for.
Yeah, well, I'd say Broncos score a lot of RC tries, and if this was earlier in the season, I think they'd be more dangerous. The fact that they must win this match, and they know the Dogs are there with a defensive mindset, I think they're going to try and blow us off the park. But at the same time, I don't think they're going to be doing kamikaze stuff unless they're chasing points at the end of the match. No, and they're a team that can do it.
Finals race, they know that. So we've just got to stay with them for 50 minutes, 60 minutes, and they'll just drop their bundle, I think.
Yeah, well, that's how I see it playing too. If we can be within 6 points with 20 minutes to go, I think we'll run over them in that heat too because they're just not used to it. I think their daytime stats, I think they've lost more than they've won as well. So
because they wouldn't be used to day.
Hey?
They're not used to playing in the daytime, are they?
No, they always get prime time on a Friday night.
Yeah, all Friday night games. I think
you know what I hate about Suncorp Stadium when they play the dart song after they score.
Yeah, I know, right?
And I could definitely shoot buck. So, I love animals. Oh, I hate that horse.
Yeah, put him in the dog food.
Yeah, I reckon he tastes good for me dog. Gav says Burton's goal kicking is trash this year. He's missed a couple.
Yeah,
He never far off.
Yeah, but Sexton nailed them. So if they can coexist, might be better for us. I don't know, but goal kicking wins the game last week. But if actually field goals won the 2 games prior to that as well. So
yeah, it's what do you do, mate? What do you do? He's a big game player, and I think it's one of these situations where the coach will let him and the captain work it out, whether there's going to be a change. And I think that Critter's the type who's going to keep backing him in.
Yep.
But you have to they're still so young, these players, and I know I keep saying it. They've got so many good years ahead of them. And what I love about Burton and especially Critter is they're just so and touch wood that I don't put the mocker on them, but they're so durable. They just keep playing every game.
Well, I have been a critic of Burton, as you will know, but I'm very much happy with his involvement this year. He's backing up. He's always available now. I don't know how he got the message or where he got the message from, but it's so much improved this year, I believe.
As they say, I think there's just a couple more people in the squad that they hired that push up through the middle, that work harder at training. That embarrass people. We all know Burton's got all the talent. He's got someone half as talented as him, half as experienced, outworking him out at training and pushing past him, and who's not even in the top 30 potentially.
Yes.
And he's, I don't think he's the smartest character, and he'll be the first to tell you that.
Well, not flat Earth, I think he's gone through, yeah.
I think he's a bit of a joker too.
Yeah,
but he's got a bit of the James Maloney about him, is that he forgets what just happened and isn't afraid to have another crack.
That would be good. Because Maloney.
I think he's look, our support play's been fantastic. You watch players like Bailey Hayward, Josh Curran, both second rowers, the centers, even the wingers, even Jacob players like Curran. They're just constantly running beside their teammate into the contact, and what that's doing is drawing that third and fourth man attention away from the player with the ball, which helps us get on the front foot, especially when it comes to getting us the kicks away.
That's the difference between last year and this year, isn't it? That's why we're not. That's where we're not 16th. That's why we're 6th. That's the big difference, right there. You nailed it.
It's stuff which you don't really. They've got a stat for it now, but it's good listening to Gus Gould talking about what coaches are actually looking at. Because someone said, "Oh, such and such does 50 tackles." He goes, "So what? 30 of those tackles, he's the third or fourth man in."
Exactly.
He's not the one copping the contact. It means nothing. What it actually, there's got to be contact. So someone like Kickow might only make, and Gordon Tallis used to be another one. They might only make 20 tackles or 25 tackles, but they'll attempt 35, and players won't run towards them. Like Tony Carroll didn't make any tackles, and he used to slow down the amount that Lockyer used to make, because if anyone went near Lockyer, he used to smash him.
That's right.
So there's so much smarts and in between the stats that people don't realise or talk about. And you go, "Oh, Tallis is bludgeon. He only did 9 hit-ups and 18 tackles." But everything he did counted out there, you know what I mean? And that's why I used to hate him, because he was that good. But having met the bloke and had a beer with him, he's a really good bloke.
Yes. So what do you think about the Bulldogs team, mate? You happy with that one?
Let's go through it.
Let's do that.
All right. So we've got Connor Tracy, Jacob Kiraz, Bronson Cherry, Critter, captain, Blake Wilson, Burton and Sexton. So same back line.
Yep,
Stability. Man of the match last week, Josh Curran. Reid Marnie, who had two pretty silly plays in that match, I must say.
No.
But, you know, he can't be perfect every game.
No, that's
and he's
right.
not. Billy Walters, I think he caught a lot of teams off by surprise last year, and I think they've done their homework on him this year.
Mm-hmm.
So it's either going to make him or break him.
Yeah, it's going to be Billy Walters.
Even though he's quite old, he's sort of always been on the fringes, and Kevy's son, you know. But he's going to the Storm and then to the Broncos.
He's not going to cause us any problems.
Well, he did in that game at Belmore last year, but if he scores a try from dummy half, I'll be very pissed off.
Oh, fucking oath.
Paying us, we know what we get from him. I think he'll have an offload in Payne.
Yes, he will.
But I think what we're going to watch out for is the players like Corey Jensen and the Kobe Haveringtons. I think it's the ones that aren't the stars, which are going to be the ones that have got, you know, stuff happening around them in this game, because it's going to be so important. And they're going to pull out something that they haven't done all year, I believe, in this match. And whether it works or not is another thing. But you often see these things come out in desperation.
Yep.
Kobe Haverington, he's an absolute beast.
Yes.
So we've got Samuel Hughes, good player.
Samuel Hughes,
I like the way they managed him. Getting more and more. You know, I don't like when they come out at the start of the season, they say he's the fittest player in the club and shit. You know, let them build up his match intensity. And
it's all about experience for Sam Hughes. He'll get better with age.
Yep. Billy Army Kickout, Presto, and Kurt Mann, who I think's been out. You talk about Curran, you talk about Critter. Well, you got to talk about Kurt Mann as well.
Yeah, it's an outstanding back row. Probably the best in the competition, I believe.
Yeah, the best or potentially the best. So, look, the matchups, they're a star-studded outfit. But, you know, we've got to back our boys. Bailey Hayward.
He's been outstanding.
He has, and he's been rewarded for a good trial form, good New South Wales Cup form. He couldn't tackle a year and a half ago.
Really?
He couldn't tackle under fatigue.
Well, now he can't be dropped either.
No, and isn't this last week we had 6 local juniors line up in our team. How many have we got this week?
How good is that?
We got 1. Reid was originally a local junior.
He was, yeah.
Although he come up young from Queensland.
Yep.
2, 3, 4, 5. 5 in the side. Actually, our entire bench are Bulldogs juniors.
How good's that, eh?
And what I loved about our bench last week is they all added stuff to it.
Absolutely.
And poor Chris Patolo did the splits when returning the footy.
Poor bugger.
And I'm like, oh, he's fucked. He's stuffed.
No luck, that guy. Absolutely none.
You know, some people say things really nasty about Chris, really critical, but he can't help it. It's not, you know, none of these players are soft. He's just, there's something about the way he runs or the way he gets into the contact that is causing him to get injured. I don't know what it is. But it brings Lipboy Hotboy back into the side. Now, I think the way it'll work with the extended benches, I think Pawasa, if he's not playing this week, I think he won't make the trip. I think he'll stay in New South Wales Cup because he didn't get a run last week.
Yep.
I think Liam Knight will be the one they bring up to. I think they'll bring Liam Knight as the backup forward, and he may be a late inclusion. I think Hayes Perham will come on the trip to Brisbane because if Jarrell's not playing, he needs a game in New South Wales Cup because he's been on the outside for a while. And I think Drew Hutchison might come as the extra player because he had a hamstring injury. And they've sort of named him on these extended benches the last couple of weeks, but he hasn't actually played any games. So all interesting.
Yeah, I think Liam might have blinded last week, so he might well be in consideration this week.
Yeah, he's had some good games, mate. And they've got Poasa and the likes of Liam, and they've been playing long minutes in reserve grade, which is really good. They just can't seem to crack it. Adam said, what about Jacob Carraz as a goal kicker? I don't think he kicks goals, mate.
No, sorry. Don't think he does.
But we'd have El Magico Part 2 if he did.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gav Bray says his personal favourites this year are Curran, Hayward, Mann and Moran. Mate, I can't disagree with you. And then I could say Max King.
Yeah, Max King, Curran. Max King and Curran have been outstanding all year.
We missed Max King last week.
But Curran made up for it.
He did. And that's what we've got to be. It's got no excuses, next man up mentality. But we have to remember they're coming from a long way behind the pack. They missed the start big time. And, as I've said to a lot of people, because some people have gone straight back to, we should be winning the comp. No excuses. And I'm like, that's the mentality the players have got. Don't get me wrong. That's the mentality the coach has. But the reality is, as a fan, if you had told me at this round that we'd be sixth in the competition with 7 games to go, I wouldn't care what happened to get to that point. You know what I mean? I would take that every day of the week.
It's at the start of the year that we were top 8 side. That's on record.
Who said that?
Me.
Yeah, well, I didn't.
Yeah, I know.
We hadn't proved anything to be a top 8 side, and I don't think. But watching us play, even from elements of round 1 and round 2, where we didn't have the footy, and from then on, I've looked at us and I've felt that we're watching all the games that I watch with me insomnia and whatever else. We look and feel like a top 5 team every time we play this year. And we've had some games, against the Raiders, as was pointed out earlier by D, drop the footy. Carraz drops the footy, which he doesn't normally do, and they score tries from it. Tracy dropped the footy against the Raiders. They score a try from it. It happens. But it's not like they're sitting there just, it's that Dearden try where Marnie and Sexton went high on him.
Yeah.
We haven't hardly seen that all season. It's happened like 3 or 4 times in the season.
The difference, Michael.
We're used to seeing that 3 or 4 times a match for Canterbury.
The difference is we don't beat ourselves anymore. Like last year where we'd get 30, 40 points put on us, we're within 2, we're within 1, we win by 1. So we're climbing the ladder. The game ladder, not the physical ladder, the game ladder. So we're always in the fight. The Dogs are always in the fight. And I think that's the most impressive thing about this outfit this year, that they're right in the fight all the time. So I'm pretty proud of them. I'm pretty happy.
Oh, it's good to hear you say that, Mark, because I'm 100% the same, mate. I really believe our fan base is everything to be proud of, and we should never forget where they've come from.
Absolutely.
And understand that as a supporter, that's what it's about. You got to go through the good and the bad, and then they come out the other end. And for me, I don't mind that people who ask questions in a critical way, like why did we do this and why did we do that. I just don't like the nasty stuff that goes on some of these pages from people that wouldn't last 2 seconds on that field. But anyway, Canterbury fans are Canterbury fans, and when we win the comp, no one's going to give a shit. We're all going to love each other. Even Naif. I'd love Naif. I know you love Naif.
I love an AF.
He's the only person I've seen all pre-season try and be really nice and positive. Then we get 10 minutes into a trial and he's like wanting to shoot the coach. And he's just, if you've been on the chat groups with him, he's just absolutely nuts. But anyway.
Well, Sorrello's made some really bizarre decisions, you must admit.
In hindsight, though, is he playing the long, sustainable game?
Play even a minute in one game, choosing people in weird positions in other games. He's on a journey himself, I believe, Sorrello. He's definitely on his own journey. He hasn't got it all figured out yet.
Well, look, I think some of where he's had people on the left and then on the right, but now when they swap, there's not a problem. And the only way that they can experience the real learnings is in the game. I think Paul Alamotti's he's gone to Penrith. Was defending much better on the wing than he could at Canterbury because he got that exposure at Canterbury. Same as Kyle Flanagan going back to being a hooker. Like, no one picked that. And then Gus comes out and says he always thought he'd be a good hooker. I feel like Kyle Flanagan would have been a good player in the 80s. That's my opinion. He's better when he's got less room and less time to think.
Yeah, he's still a good player.
He's not a bad little player, and I like I love his courage. He's courageous in defence.
He is, absolutely. And he got that from the Bulldogs.
Exactly. So, we've for someone who is basically unwanted from the fan base from after 2 games, he's stuck at it, and I hope he does all right. But that's another game I've penciled in. I've penciled in 2 big matches after this Broncos game.
Oh, yeah? Which ones?
Dragons at Cogra and Dolphins in Bundaberg.
Oh, that's a biggie, that one.
I've been fired. The Dogfather's been fired up about it for a very, very long time.
That Bundaberg game's going to make or break us.
All these games. We've got to play Manly in the run home. We've got to play the Cowboys. We've got to play every... People were saying, like, there's been a few people say, the teams on the run to the way home are all below us. And I'm like, yeah, but they're all within striking distance of the 8. So it means every game we play is a semi-final. We've been playing semi-final football for the last 5 weeks. Since that first Dragons game, it's been do or die for us pretty much.
And we've aimed up, I might add. We've aimed up pretty good. You can't win them all, obviously.
No, you can't. We got some luck.
Sutton, you can't, but we've done pretty well.
Valerio said a couple of things. He said something before as well. How many of our team do you think are playing injured? Perhaps Cherry and Crichton. I think the standard response, mate, is everyone's carrying an injury at this time of year.
I think Crichton is.
But, someone just said before Kikau heard he's up. Kikau's definitely playing injured. His other hand got busted up first, came back. Beautiful. DC, with Max King's injury, it got me thinking, who out of the Dogs' best 17 would you not replace for any other player in the comp? For me, it would be King, Critter, Burton, Kicks, Preston, Kraz, and Curran. That's the great thing, D, is that every time when we win a game, even when we lose a game, if I go to name the best players for the Bulldogs, I end up naming most of the side. And not because there's just things that they've done, which I go, if they didn't do that, we would have conceded more points or whatever, You can talk about their mistakes or whatever, but there's just been some really good it's just been a team effort the whole way. There hasn't been too many people where you go, we need to piss this one off, where for the last 5 years, it's been after every loss, even after wins, get rid of Ockenball. Flanagan. Bring in Oluwapu. Just get rid of Josh Jackson out of lock. Piss Lachlan Lewis off.
Josh Jackson, legend of the club.
Absolute legend. you know, and he was suited to lock, and he threw some good balls as well, but he just wasn't as good as most of the others as he's.
Yeah, but was it a game plan or was it Josh Jackson?
I love Josh Jackson.
I love him. He's totally love him.
Valerio says every player this year is given 100% to the team. Massive turnaround from prior seasons.
Well, especially from last year.
Daniel Martin, welcome, Daniel. When he died, Hazem El Mesri to train Birdo with goal kicking. We would have won at least 3 more games, I reckon. Daniel, I'll tell you something now. That they're all getting trained by people like Hazem. Brent Sherwood helps a lot of players and a lot of the young players. You got Hazem's helps the club. And what's his name? Bloody
Halligan. Daryl Halligan.
Halligan's helping the Bulldogs all the time.
And you ain't getting better than that.
It's the mental side. But I think there is a lot of merit in what people say around the Burton kicking, is that if he runs more, you don't see him do as many Burton bombs. And when he does a Burton bomb, a lot of our players get offside, we've noticed. The more kicking he does, the more fatigue he gets. If he's involved in a try, his heart rate's up, he's likely to miss. There's a thing going around that if you score a try, you shouldn't take the kick for goal because your heart rate's high and you're more likely to miss than get it, especially if it's on a sideline.
Yeah.
So I think every team should be carrying 6 goal kickers in its lineup. In my opinion.
We've got Burton, Sexton,
yeah. Critter, Taff.
Yes, that's right. So we've got plenty.
I think Blake Wilson can kick him too, and I think
would surprise me, and I think Carraz can boot as well.
Yeah, well, Adam asked the question before, but I haven't seen it too much. I'm sure. It's like the soccer game. Everyone in soccer, including the goalie, can take penalties.
That's right.
And move a ball from and kick it where it needs to go. So it's probably something that clubs should invest in this professional game to get everyone kicking the footy. But anyway.
I think answering that, Burton is the preferred kicker at this stage. And I don't think they're going to yank him when he misses just a couple.
Yeah. Pete Webber's come on. He said he just got the message. Webber. I told Pete he should come jump on.
Absolutely.
I messaged old Brad Graham as well, but he was busy. I think he sent me a message now.
All hail the King Webber.
The King Webber.
The King Webber. Not your average.
Tell you what, my life's improved since I got a Webber.
Yeah, I agree.
So, just so you don't know, Pete, this is the Stats King, Mark O'Connell.
That's
never be on the game on.
That's never lie, mate.
Oh, I love it. Sitting there till midnight debating over shit, losing that shit. Oh, it's great. But look, we've been going for an hour and 3 minutes.
Is that all?
I also wanted to mention Buzz Rothfield. He can't help himself. Him and Fox Sports are rehashed because Gus got hired a lawyer, and basically, when he was calling the game stupid and stuff.
Are we touching on this, are we?
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you think?
I think there should be a rule for all. There can't be a protected species.
But we know there is, though, right? Like, and players as well.
Well, there shouldn't be that either.
I was going to ring SEN this morning, right? I sent him a text message because Corey Parker, He drives me nuts. And I'm in SEN Queensland, so I ring him up sometimes and talk to the Channel 7 fella, Ben Damon, or whatever his fucking name is.
Ben Dobson?
Oh, what's his name? He's
Ben
the
Dobson.
Channel 7 sports reporter. He loves the Lions. He does the SEN between 9 a.m. and 12 a.m.
Dobson. Ben Dobson.
That's not him.
Yes, it is. It has the same name as the Triple M guy. What's his name? The fat fella.
Ben Davis. His name's Ben Davis. Mornings with Ben Davis. There we go. His name's Ben Davis. Anyway, I'll ring him up and have a crack at him with their pro Queensland shit. It's like Trump's America.
Yeah, I know.
Queenslander. Before we get into that, what did you think about the New South Wales team song?
Blueslander.
Did you listen to the new team song?
I heard the new team song, and I'm a fan.
They basically saying like the Queenslanders, talks yelling out Queenslander and all the talk about being a Queenslander. It's like, we hear ya, we see ya. And the fact that they direct it straight at him, I just love it. It's like, really good. Apparently, Luai wrote the whole thing pretty much.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And there's a South African rugby team where he got it from.
Doesn't have a lot of words, so it's probably Luai.
Oh, he's quite articulate, actually.
Yeah, probably not. But anyway.
He's changed his tune a little bit. But getting back to this, look, I understand the NRL saying to Gus, look, you're the Bulldogs, probably highest paid person of the Bulldogs.
Probably.
And, you can't say things against the game. I can get that, but to try and fine him, I think it was all about a warning anyway. He never really got one before. So they did that. And then when he brought the lawyer in to say, well, this is because Gus could have been a lawyer himself. But look, I was trying to ring them today at SENQ to talk about Cam Smith because there's another protected species and they're everywhere, like the media, the way they go about it. 2013 game 2, I tried to get this to go viral, a video of Cam Smith sticking his hand into the bum of Adam Woods in Origin on near halfway, and he's basically done the squirrel grip or he's stuck the finger in the bum or whatever. He's had a little play, a little tickle. Now, I sent this everywhere, including the NRL, Triple M, News Corp, Channel 9. They just ignored it. I rang people up, spoken to them. They just ignored it. And I said, I want it out there because he should be pinged for it. Well, what ended up happening, Woods ended up scoring about 2 sets later. And I think we won game 2 and then we lost game 3 when we should have won. And then we won the series the following year with the Bulldogs halves and Trent Hodgkinson.
Oh, yes.
But he was a protected species on the field and off it. And I actually love listening to Cameron Smith because he was just one of those players where I'm like, he's not fast. He doesn't look like he hurts anyone when he tackles them, but he's just the best player in the game.
I agree.
So when we talk about protected species, they're everywhere. I think the Roosters are protected. I think their coach is protected. Robinson,
yeah.
Most penalised team in the game because they cheat.
A lot.
We already went there, Pete. I said you weren't coming on because you're still pissed off about the Bulldogs. Too many dumb penalties in the first half, and then Sutton. If he just calls a couple of those wrong calls our way, we probably win the match.
What did Pete say?
Second half. But we won't talk about Sutton again. But I was going to go on about Buzz because Fox, as they always do, the media, they've come out and said that all the other clubs are up in arms that he's got away with it.
Yeah.
It's absolute bullshit.
Yeah, it is.
They're the laziest reporters in the game, these guys. And now we've got Dean Ritchie, who's over there in Papua New Guinea because he's got paid to basically promote the propaganda for it. So you can't take these people seriously because they don't really have their own opinions. It's that they follow an agenda, and it's
the money agenda.
bloody ridiculous. And I'm probably going to get my mate Ray in WA is going to come on. He said he wants to come on and talk about the WA bid because he's got a fair bit to do with Western Australia Rugby League and supporting it. Yeah, he met Nick Politis and played rugby league at a pretty high level in New South Wales growing up, and just didn't make the top levels though. But there's been some really great park footballers out there, people know. But yeah, he's just loved talking to him and listening to him, and it'll be interesting to see what happens with this PNG and Perth bid. For me, I'd be bringing them both in at the same time. Perth needs to come into the game, I believe. I can't wait to talk about that.
Is he a part of the Bears?
Well, do you think is he a part of the Bears?
Yes.
No. No, he's with one of the local rugby league clubs.
Oh, okay.
Like chairman or something.
Conglomerate.
So they've got about 5,000 juniors over there. When the Western Reds were there, they got up to about 13 to 15,000.
Nice.
So but obviously fell away. Bad decision to leave, I believe.
I believe right too, yeah.
Because WA's it's just it could be a blue chip area for any team for anything. You've got so much investment over there. A lot of rich people, that's for sure. It's like a bit like the Gold Coast.
There's a bit more mining over in Perth, mate.
Well, at least the miners over there paid for all their infrastructure. The ones over here advertise every bloody day to change the royalty thing. I'm like, well, the Queensland government paid for all their stuff. So anyway, that's politics. Sorry, guys, if you just switched off.
Yeah, everyone's switching off. Let's get back to the footy.
Yay! Bring them into. I'd love to see the Bears be brought back to the competition.
Yeah, me too. I think that'd be good for the competition.
What's the verdict for Saturday, boys? Scores and outcome? I can't say. Look, it just depends, Pete. For me, I'll give mine, then Mark can have the final word on that. I'd like to see I think it's going to be a dry track. I think we're going to see the Broncos make some ground, get on the front foot. I think they'll score a couple of tries. They're probably going to look like they could score a few more. But if we're within 6 points with 20 minutes to go, I think we'll run over the top of them. It's going to be 25 degrees in Brisbane. It's going to be 25 degrees. It's going to be dry. It's going to be good for the big fellas to get some momentum early in the match. But as that energy runs out, as those Broncos start to perspire and sweat, I think the Bulldogs will have a bit more fitness than them at the end of the game. That's what I believe. And if we don't, if Marnie doesn't decide that, that we've got to go for a 40-20 3 times because we're behind, if he just turns them around the right way at the right time to drive a nail into them, I think the kicking game is going to be huge, and we're coming up against the master in Adam Reynolds. So that's my thoughts. Bulldogs running over the top of the Broncos, 20 points to 13. The Broncos kick a field goal at 13-12. We score 2 tries and Burton misses the goals late. What do you think, Mark?
Well, I think, Michael, I think it's going to play out like this. I think we're going to be behind at half time by 12 points to 6. But I think we run away with it in the second half. And the final score being 28-16 with us playing up the middle. And Sexton playing straight. Connor Tracy plays straight. I think we run all over them in the second half.
So you reckon that players like Ezra Mam will miss a tackle out wide, or
I think we go through them, no dramas. 28-16 final score, Bulldogs.
I hope you're right, mate, because it sounds a lot better on my heart and on my blood pressure if we go that way. So Adam's come on. He reckons Bulldogs to win 14-8. Yeah, I'll be happy with that, mate. I'm happy for a win. So let's look ahead. We've got the Broncos. Later, everyone. Take care. Bulldogs family. Go Dogs. Yeah, we'll be wrapping up soon too, Adam. But look, I think we've got the Raiders at Belmore next week. Then we've got the Dragons away, but it's still in Sydney. Then we've got to go to Bundaberg and play the Dolphins, which to me is it's going to be that important, that match. They're all going to be important. Then we've got to go across to Auckland and play the Warriors, who hopefully are out of the running, because I think that'll help us in that match if, they sort of just go in there and maybe not go in with the hard-ass intentions that they could. And then we come back and finish with the Cowboys and the Seagulls. So it's
I believe we finished in 5th position, Michael. What do you think?
I think we'll be finishing 7th or 8th, mate. Just my
I think we go 5th. We play the Cowboys, I believe, for 6th. Is that the first finals game? Yes, I believe that.
No, you play the 8th team.
5 plays 8? 7 plays 6. Is that right?
Plays 7. So 5th and 6th get a home game. 5th plays 8th, 6th plays 7th. And then you have 1st versus 4th and 2nd versus 3rd. 1st and 2nd get that home game. And whoever wins the prelim gets the home game in the prelim.
Yeah, we're playing the Dragons at Accor Stadium.
Huh?
We'll be playing the Dragons at Accor Stadium.
You think the Dragons are going to finish 7th or 8th?
Yes.
I've done the ladder predictor about 77,000 times, and the Dolphins keep stuffing me up.
8th, sorry. They'll be 6th.
Dolphins going to make the finals?
Yeah, Dolphins will be 6th.
So who drops out?
Well, Melbourne's the number 1, right?
Yeah.
Then you got the Panthers. You got the Roosters. My memory's not that great. Roosters.
Sharks.
Oh, yeah, Sharks. Sharks probably hang on to 4th, I reckon.
Yeah.
Dogs, Dolphins.
Cowboys.
Yeah, I think Manly and the Cowboys.
And Dragons miss out.
Oh, no, Dragons, sorry, Nate. I think the Cowboys miss out.
I think Cowboys and Manly are both going to make it. If Turbo stays fit.
It doesn't matter.
I think the winner of the Bulldogs and the Dragons will determine who makes the finals.
Really?
If the Broncos win every game, which I think they can, they don't have to win every game. They only have to win 6 of them. If they win 6 of those matches, they'll make the finals, and I reckon they'll have a plus, and they'll be positive 100 by the end of the year.
Put the Lions with the Broncos.
I hope you're right, mate. I'd love nothing more.
Broncos are done.
Knights are done.
Knights.
Broncos, I'm not going to write them off. Warriors are done now.
Warriors are done.
But yeah, I can't write off Manly. Who's that?
Canberra.
Canberra's another one. If they beat us, they're another one that just keeps winning those games when they shouldn't win.
They're done.
Pete Webber, well, I'm glad you brought this up. Wet tracks have helped us. Dry and warm, hard tasks all hinges how Reynolds performs coming back. We need areas to be nil or close to, which has cost us too many close games, and this could be another. Yeah, I was talking about that after what Jason Demetrio said, Pete. He said that losing Max King was huge. Losing that game against the Cowboys was huge for the Dogs. And he believes that the drier tracks are going to suit the big boys. And that's potential. And every pack we play against in the run home is, well, it's no different really, but they're all huge.
Can I point a difference here? The dry tracks don't help the big blokes; they help the little blokes. The wet tracks help the big blokes.
It depends.
No, it doesn't depend. That's the way it is.
Yeah. Canterbury have basic Serrato, the way it's gone about, it's like a new way of playing the game. And other teams have changed the way they go about things because of it. I've been watching it happen all over the season. Teams have been carrying an extra, basically a hybrid player on their bench every game and having more of their small men on the field at once.
What do you think that is, Michael?
Well, in that game against the Roosters, I felt it suited us having that smaller pack in that first half. And they didn't come into it till they started working out just to start running from dummy half with the little men. Yes. It helps the big men in that it slows the little men down. I get your point there. It slows the speed men down, but I think with the way the game's going, if the lighter pack is able to get across the ground a little bit better. Yes. And that way they get more momentum.
A dry ground.
But the wet game in Gosford suited the Roosters to a T, who are bigger than us. So,
did they win?
Oh, they smashed us 26-8.
And what about
we still fought hard. I wasn't too disappointed with the performance, but
I don't think it was about the big men that was the game. I think it was more about the missed tackles in that game, which I think amounted to about 60, I believe.
Yeah, they had a point to prove, the Roosters, that night, and I knew they would. And Jared Warrior-Hargraves, was running on the edge again. But
yeah.
Look, we've had just what's been impressive as we talked about is that the difference between the Dogs' best and worst is just a lot better this year. It's a lot closer together. And they do enough stuff right in the match to stay in the match that there's still a chance of winning games they shouldn't win. And we've actually won a few that we shouldn't have won, but lost a lot more that we should have won. And that's probably the issue.
Yes.
I think we should be on 34 points, to be honest.
That's not from the players, though.
It's not I don't believe it's the coach's fault, mate.
That's right. Sutton's got us for 4 points.
Yeah, ref. Coaches going to make decisions. Some are right, some are wrong in hindsight. As long as you're getting, for me, it's the long game with coaching.
Yes.
And it's about getting that improved performance out of the individuals over a period of time. And if I look at it like a professional gambler, the professional gamblers aren't going out there and winning up $100,000 off $1,000. It's about the making sure you got that percentage improvement over a certain period of time, and I think that's what's happening with the Bulldogs. Our people are saying our attack's still bad, but I'm seeing so much more variation in our attack, and Josh Addo-Carr's still third in line breaks for this season, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And he's only played 10 games. Not in average. That's in the
club.
Hey?
He's not the best winger in the club.
Yeah. No. Blake Wilson's the best winger, isn't he?
Blake Wilson is the best winger in the club.
Well, Wilson had a pretty good game on the weekend, to be honest. he's only had one good game in the last 6 weeks.
No,
Against the Eels.
That's bullshit.
I don't know.
You can't say that.
I can
Blake
because
Wilson
he's
has
been injured, mate. You've got to watch. I'm not saying he's had bad games. I mean by his standards, he is a good winger, but he's been carrying an injury, and they've smashed him in games, and he's dropped the ball. He's been courageous, but he's been getting hammered, mate. He hasn't been punching through the line like he can. You and I both know. You go and watch all those games against the Warriors, against the Sharks.
Yeah, outstanding.
He tried hard and he did his job, but he wasn't at his best, nowhere near it. Because he was getting hammered.
Said this week the disruptor from last weekend wasn't that penalised by Gerard Sutton. So
I didn't blame that for him. I didn't worry about that. As I said, he had a good game against the Cowboys. He had a great game against the Eels. He had a great game against the Eels. He got that bad concussion, mate, as well. So he was out for a bunch of weeks, and then he got pneumonia as well.
Yeah, that was fictitious. But anyway, go on.
No, it wasn't, mate. I'll 100% tell you it's exactly what happened. He was in hospital, mate.
Please.
What do you think happened to him?
Hey?
What do you think happened? You think he got dropped and they didn't want to play him?
Exactly.
Because of the Fox. I'm telling you, if Blake Wilson didn't play reserve grade because he was pissed off he got dropped, he wouldn't be at the club anymore, mate.
That's not Blake.
I know from the inside. I know exactly what happened. He was ill, mate. He was. It was genuine. And then it so happened that he'd be playing reserve grade right now if the Fox didn't get injured. He'd be in reserve grade and he'd be happy to be there.
No, he shouldn't be.
Yeah, but that's your opinion on. That's your opinion on him. He's bought into the system and he knows that he's the next man up.
He knows he's the best in the club.
It doesn't matter though. He's the next man up at the moment. Curran, you can't say he's better than Curran. Curran gets picked ahead of Wilson every time. Anyway, he had a good game. I was very happy with the way he played on the weekend. He didn't. He wasn't getting crunched in the contact. He wasn't getting driven back, which was happening in all those other games, mate. Yeah, Curran wasn't right at the start. He knocked that ball on. He had a bad game at the start, but he fought back as he always does. I'm telling you, Wilson has been carrying an injury.
Can't tell me anything.
He's been carrying an injury, Blake Wilson, but he's ahead of Jarrell Skelton. So,
truly. And then the other winger in the club.
Hey?
And then the other winger in the club.
Who's that?
Blake Wilson.
Yeah, but what's that? Who's the other winger?
Better than any other winger in the club. You can Josh Adokar, Jacob Carraz.
Nah.
Jarrell Skelton. He's way better than them all.
Blake Wilson to me is probably a better. He's a fullback. I watched him coming through.
Yes.
I wasn't huge on him, but I watched a few Queensland Cup games and he'd done a good job. The Capras and that, and I went and watched all his highlights and that. I thought, he's pretty good.
Oh, he's definitely very good.
And that's why they got him to the club. And that's when Parramatta tried to sign him. They fought hard to keep him. But he's under. What I'm trying to say is, it doesn't matter what your opinion is. He's under no disillusion that he's behind Jacob Carraz and he's behind Josh Adokar. Now, you're going to bring whether we agree or not doesn't matter. That's the reality. And he wasn't playing because he wasn't right to play. And it just so happened he's got back in the side and he's doing a good job. But he has been injured. He's been
round one.
Who was the
wingers round one?
Blake Wilson.
Okay, so what do you think that might be? Round one.
Well, who was out?
Well, that makes him the best winger, one of the best wingers in the club, right?
Yeah, but who wasn't in the side?
Carraz was at centre.
And Bronson Cherry wasn't in the side. That's right.
Sorry?
So Bronson Cherry got ahead of Wilson as a football player. So they look at the best 17 to go out there. It's not about who's the best winger, who's the best this. It's about what's going to suit the team the best. We could argue all night about it.
We're going to.
But the reality is,
Podcast on record.
It doesn't matter. The reality is, Bronson Cherry they know what the potential of he is, and for the team, he's come in and they've decided that he was the better fit overall. It's like Haywood, Toby Sexton wasn't. You and I both know that Toby Sexton was a better long-term proposition for halfback than Drew Hutchison.
Of course he was. That's a no-brainer.
100%.
No-brainer.
We knew that, but we also knew, and from stuff that had come out of the club, and when and people talking to Toby Sexton directly, and he said one of the most influential people on him at the club this year has been Drew Hutchison. So
that's bullshit, though.
It's not bullshit.
Well, it is. It has to be bullshit. Because Drew
Not
Hutchison...
everyone's brought up with the same egos, mate.
Drew Hutchison can't teach Toby Sexton anything about the number 7.
Well, he can.
It's an absurd statement.
Drew Hutchison was an Australian schoolboy halfback, mate, in 2014.
Really?
He was considered the best halfback in the country for his age. So he's played, and he was trusted at the Roosters side to be their halfback. He's got the smarts of what to do.
Really?
It was like me playing centre half in soccer. I was a big boy.
I don't know what that means.
I'll tell you what it means. It's like being the general, right? I was the slowest player on the field.
Luke Patton, were you?
Huh?
Were you Luke Patton?
The fact of the matter is that Drew Hutchison,
he's not a
halfback. He knows where to go, what he should be doing. But he just lacks that bit of speed. He's not that little bit of finesse. It doesn't mean he's not a good halfback.
He's not a good halfback, mate. He's not a good halfback.
He was fine for the Roosters to get him to the semi-finals.
Well, that would be a lack of options rather than anything else, wouldn't it be?
No, they dropped Sam Walker to give him the halfback job because Sam needed to develop in reserve grade. Knowing they were never going to give Drew Hutchison $500,000, knowing that they were going to be one day trying to pay Sam Walker $1 million plus. This is what I'm talking about, mate. This is what I'm talking about. It's called horses for courses, and it's about development of your young halfbacks. You and I both know Toby Sexton was the future of this club for the next 1 to 2, 3 years, maybe even longer. Maybe he stays at halfback, and Mitchell Wood comes in as a young 5'8".
Yes. No, he won't be 5'8", he'll be halfback.
Well, I think Mitch Woods is a better 5'8". His running game is really good. But he can kick, he can do that. But can he kick long? Not sure. Play AFL though, so you'd think he'd be able to develop a long kick.
I think he's got a long kick.
Well, you've got her in AFL. If you can't kick the ball 50 metres in AFL,
you often answer your own questions, Michael.
But it doesn't mean that he comes in that way. Jonathan Thurston ended up one of the greatest halfbacks. He was a 5'8" for years. He played 5'8" for Origin.
He was always a 5'8".
Yeah, but he ended up being a halfback.
He never was a halfback. He was always 5'8".
Who was a halfback for when they won the comp?
Who?
Yeah.
The Bulldogs?
For North Queensland.
North Queensland?
Yeah.
I can't remember. I know Thurston was 5'8".
Let's go.
Who was it? No, you're going to Google it, are you?
Gonna have to Google it, mate. Prove myself wrong.
All right, sweet.
Michael Morgan was the 5'8".
There
Jonathan
you
Thurston was the halfback. And Jonathan Thurston moved to halfback about 5 years earlier.
Yeah, whatever.
Just so you know, bro.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah, whatever. Michael
Thanks,
Morgan.
Dave. Morgan was the 5'8". Adam says it's what's best for the team is what matters, 100%. In my view, Curran and O'Cara are the best wingers. Wilson's a fine player, is 3, and Skelton not far behind. Look, Valerio, I agree. I think that Blake Wilson is
Best winger in the club.
whether he's the best winger in the club long term or not. I don't think he's. They think a lot of him because he's been injured in a few games. Hasn't been himself. Got hit hard in the ribs and stuff. Whatever it was, you go and watch those games. He wasn't. Blake Wilson, the best of Blake Wilson, it was far from his best against the Sharks and against the Warriors, and the game prior to the Para game. The Para game was phenomenal, and I said last week to plenty of people that against the Cowboys, Blake Wilson's, I think he's getting back to his best again. So that's good for us, but I'm telling you, the Fox is going to come in. And I don't think they're going to drop Bronson Cherry. But if he gets made a mess of this week by the Broncos, and I think he'll be a target, that's probably the only chance. That's probably the only chance.
He was pretty ordinary last week.
I don't think so.
I think so.
I felt he was pretty good defensively.
Who, Bronson Cherry?
Yeah.
Really? What game are you watching?
I think Bronson Cherry's been for his. You know, you got to think the long term with all these players. What he's done is phenomenal, and I think that he is a player that's going to have his little flat spots, just like Blake Wilson.
Who do you think is better, Bronson Cherry or Jacob Curran?
I think Jacob Curran, statistically and
yes,
what he does for my emotions, is a better player than Bronson Cherry.
Yes. So he'll be playing centre.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think he should.
I think Bronson's probably better at getting the ball. Probably, in all honesty, I think Bronson's better at getting the ball away.
No, Bronson doesn't get the ball away. He doesn't pass, and he certainly hasn't got the impact on the line that Curran has.
Bronson and but he will.
What do you mean?
He was a phenomenal kid, man, and he's had 4 years out. And I think you're underestimating where he can go. But for what we need right now is probably the debate. It's going to depend a lot on this week, mate. My opinion is when the Fox comes in, he's probably going to replace Wilson.
I hope not.
And that's probably what's going to happen.
Terrible decision. And it wouldn't surprise me with Saraldo.
Well, I think Bronson's a better centre than Curran.
No,
the balance of the side. I think I like having Curran on the wing, and I don't mind having Fox on the other wing.
I like Wilson and O'Cara on the wings.
But really, it's one of those situations. If they name the team and Cherry gets dropped and Curran goes to centre and Wilson holds his spot, I'm fucking happy as Larry. But if it's the other way, it's not a situation where I'm going to be like, oh, I'll be like happy as Larry still. I think we are spoilt for riches in our back line this year. And I believe that it comes, but I know Jason Taylor's there. I know Mick Potter's there. I know Cameron Serrato's there. I know Gus Gould is there. I know there's a bunch of ex-players that are around the club constantly. Now, it's not all coming down to one person's voice. If you know how it works in those walls, they all have a say, right? They all give their opinions. Not everyone believed that Hutchison was the best halfback option either.
And it's
Not
been
everyone.
Since. It's been proven since.
Not everyone. No, it wasn't proof. This is what I'm talking about.
How many wins?
If we lost, this is what I'm trying to say. If we lost those matches at the start, if Toby plays halfback at the start of the year, I don't think he doesn't make those tackles because you don't know. He wasn't.
It doesn't matter.
He wasn't hitting the mark defensively.
It doesn't matter. The proof is in the pudding. Statistics don't lie.
The statistics did lie because in reserve grade he wasn't hitting his tackles.
And don't worry about reserve grade.
As soon as he did the job where they had to pick him, he got put straight back into the team.
And how many have we lost since?
Exactly.
What's our strike rate now?
But we're in the fight for that whole. The team had confidence defensively, which is what we've based our whole season off. And now Toby's making the tackles, and he doesn't want to relinquish his spot. If he put him there too early, he would have copped the flack for us losing, and then he would have been the one being hunted and being dropped.
Michael,
you've got to learn how it works. And you learn a bit more when you speak to a couple of people who are sort of in there and sort of explain it to you. Because I named Toby as my halfback for a long time. I wanted him to be our halfback. I'm on record saying that. There was genuine reasons given as to why he wasn't there, and he knew all. And most importantly, he's the one who knew it.
Yeah, and the rest of us knew it too.
Mick Winterbine, Curran ranked number 1 most run meters, 3,262. Blake ranked 146 at 1,445. Average run meters is probably what we need to look at, though. Pete says, when Fox is fit, he comes in for Wilson, no question. He can score tries like the Hammer can. Long-standing Wilson could be it, or Skelton if they don't get poached. As I said, Pete, they spent a lot of money, probably more money than they thought they were going to keep Blake Wilson, to keep him at the club. And, and he's proven his value, and he's well liked by the coach and by the club. And as I keep trying to tell people, it's a 30-man squad you need. It's not about who's your best 17. It's about who's your best 30. And the fact we've got players like Bailey Haywood, Curtis Moran, Harry Hayes now have come outside of our top 30 and said, Lipoy Hopboy, another one, and said, you know what? You have to put us in your top 30. You don't need to go and buy some lazy-ass player for $500 million to replace us. It's fucking phenomenal. And as you and me were looking at earlier, Mark, that the bench that's been named for the game against the Broncos are all Bulldogs juniors. And most of them weren't in the top 30 at the start of the season. And 2 of them or 3 of them still aren't. Bailey comes in next year into the top 30. Curtis has been elevated. And I think Harry Hayes will get, and for them to get a spot, that means the likes of Hayes Perrin will be gone. Liam Knight's probably going to be gone. Patalo's probably potentially going to be gone.
Probably.
And Skelton's one that they've got to decide upon. And I'm surprised that Skelton hasn't been poached already, to be honest. But we can't keep them all.
No, you can't.
G'day, Burke. How you going, brother? D says the timing of when they made Hutcho Sexton change the only thing that there is proof of. Pretty much, mate. But I do know why Toby wasn't picked. And I know why he was picked. So that's what I know. And they've been pretty candid about it anyway, publicly. And look, Mark, I do agree. I know that everything public is there's a lot of just, above board talk sort of stuff. And the real stories can get hidden. But our club this year, if they've made it quite clear. It's the, you know, if you don't have the right attitude, so if you think you should be playing in first grade and you're not, and you make that known, you probably won't be in first grade at Canterbury. And we've seen a couple of people leave already, and some were because they got an opportunity. Like Harrison Edwards just wasn't going to get a 3-year deal from the Bulldogs. It just wasn't going to happen.
He's paid
So
for that.
he got one at the Cowboys. Probably more than I thought that anyone would give him, to be honest.
He's a good player. He played well against us.
I like Harrison Edwards. I wanted them to put him into the top 32 years ago. So you could see he's got that. He's actually got a bit of smarts about his game, and he can throw a good ball. He could be that ball playing lock as well. Like he's not a play on an edge. He can do a lot. So I hope you liked me and Mark having a bit of a difference of opinion, guys, because I do.
Yeah, tuned for next week.
You want to come on every week?
Oh, no, I'm sure there'll be. Where's Weber? Get him on.
I want to get Weber on and sing a few songs.
Songs? No,
he writes the best. He's a fucking talented man, mate, and I don't say that lightly.
Yeah, I know that. Very talented.
Well, he done some. Pretty much anyone he writes a song for comes on in leaps and bounds. So,
really? Hey Weber, will write a song for me, will you?
They call it music for the damned. Song for the damned or something. Yeah. I remember one called that.
Yeah. I'll take
All right, everyone. So Mark thinks the Bulldogs are going to win 28-16, come from behind to run away in the second half.
Second half.
We've got Atkins refereeing.
Yeah, I'll be there. Look me up.
Yep. If you're on All Things Bulldogs, and you're at the game, or you're on other groups as well, on Facebook, message the people there, try and catch up with people, introduce yourselves. I'm still not sure if I'll get there. I'm trying to get there with my daughter, but I just got to weigh things up.
We'll have a beer. We'll have a beer or a lemonade or something. Maybe a cordial.
Beer, coffee, lemonade. Yep. Whatever. Hot dog.
Hot dog.
Well, they probably got at the footy now, bloody caviar.
Yeah, probably.
Hot dog at caviar prices.
It's all gone pear-shaped, hasn't it?
Oh, it's fucking ridiculous. Anyway, I really appreciate you coming on, Mark. It's been a pleasure having you on tonight. Thanks to everyone who contributed with their comments. Enjoying it. Every game's a semi-final for us, and pretty much for the teams we play. And you know,
right.
Teams we beat are going to find it hard to make the finals. But if they beat us, it's going to fucking make our job a lot harder.
Doggies 5.
Doggies 5th. I hope you're right. Mate, I hope you're right about a lot of things. I really do.
I'm never wrong. Never wrong.
Well, it's hard to be wrong when you're always right, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Look at my side this year. It's going pretty good.
Yeah, your original side with Bailey Hayward and all that. Yeah, it's going good, mate.
Sexton, eh?
Yeah.
If I can just get the fullback in, I'll be like,
Joash.
Hey?
Joash isn't up to that level yet, mate, but he will be.
Joash Papa. That's the name on everybody's lips. Just remember it. You heard it here first. At All Things Bulldogs with Mick. Joash
Papali. Mate, I did a big feature on him at the start of the year. What are you talking about?
Wow, mate.
He's one of my biggest views.
Wasn't big enough. Two try assists last week. He's just killing it.
Good player. And what I love about him this year is he's just got a lot vocal. He's like a deer in headlights last year, but this year he's leading. He's telling, he's sticking it up to players. Look,
He's making things happen.
I've seen him there giving it to fucking Katoni Katonga after they made Katonga back up after the loss to Melbourne.
Exactly.
When he missed that tackle.
Yeah.
And Katonga then ran over about 12 people to score a try the next day in reserve.
Exactly. Hey?
And Joe Ash was giving it to him, absolutely telling him what he did wrong and you let the club down and all that. That's what I made up in my head. But that's what I thought he was saying to him.
True.
Watching it on the game. So yeah, he's a good little young fella, and it was a bit sad he got cleaned up in one of those matches. I think it was against the Dragons.
That was a couple of weeks ago, but he's back now.
Back now.
Yep.
Played 5'8" the other day in that match we lost.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, they named him at fullback and Hayes at 5'8", but they put Hayes back to fullback and he played 5'8".
True.
Or for at least some of the match. That was the loss against Newtown.
Yeah. No. Joe Ash, Papa. It's going to be the Luke Patton from Canterbury.
The general.
The general. And he's going to be like the general. Roger Tuivasa check all in one.
Yeah, he's got a bit more size to put on too. He's fast enough.
Absolute star he's going to be.
He might, look, mate, he might come on and do another Bailey Hayward. He can play anywhere. He can play.
He's going to make Bailey Hayward look like an amateur.
Yeah, well, I'm loving mate. You got to have competition. They got to knock the door down. Joe Ash hasn't knocked it down yet. Once he does,
really, the door's looking flimsy, mate. The door's looking flimsy.
He hasn't knocked it down yet, brother. He will though.
NRL next year, guaranteed.
He's working on the stuff they're telling him to work on. He's doing what he's told.
NRL next year.
There's another player we've forgotten about is Carl Owapu. I'm pretty sure Carl Owapu is going to be pretty suited to this small ball.
Yeah, no, he's going to be playing lock for sure. If he's right, he'll play lock.
So, well, they got him for enough years. So,
yeah,
and I think
lock, and that's a scary combination, isn't it? Hey, Owapu and Papali. Wow,
mate,
you'll hear that.
Them all. Joey Edwards.
Oh, Joey Edwards as well. Oh, what a
and there's a whole bunch of others coming. Cassius Tia and all that. They can all play. Romano Cook is doing a fantastic job.
Oh, Romano's killing it. Absolutely killing it.
Well, actually, does anyone know if Jake Turpin injured? He must be.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
He defends. I like the way he defends, mate.
I do like Jake. I do.
He tackles hard, man.
But he's going to be old.
This is what we need, and we can't have them all. We can't have them all. But anyway, thanks for joining, everyone. Thanks for having a chat, and thanks for watching. It's been a pleasure. No one donated me any money this week. I got $15 last week. I couldn't believe it.
What was going on there? How'd you get donations?
Oh, they can do super likes or some shit. Brad gave me $5 last week, and another guy, Sayed. Can't believe it.
Out of him?
Huh?
How'd you get $5 out of Brad?
I was sending him foot pics, mate, during the No, apparently it was because I wore a beanie instead of my hat.
You were a couple, probably a couple of grand out of Weber.
Oh, Weber's. Have you seen his view?
Fuck, he's a tight, that Weber, seriously.
Oh, he would have left, mate. He's left.
Yeah, I love Weber.
Thank you, Valerio. Turpin injured in New South Wales Cup versus the Warriors. I just completely missed that. That was telecast, that game too, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I believe so.
I've got to go back and watch that again.
Yeah, should.
But anyway, you've learned a few things tonight, Mark. Jonathan Thurston played halfback in the grand final, and he was the halfback for many years at the Cowboys.
Yes.
But he developed from a great from being a 5'8" as a kid, and I still rue the day that we let him walk out.
Exactly. Yes.
So,
All hail the kid.
fucking remember watching him at a Toowoomba trial match, mate. I actually watched him play for New South Wales in the State of Origin under 19s as well.
Oh,
something.
true.
Yeah, he actually had to play against Queensland. Because, but anyway, I'll just keep talking.
Look like a loser.
Yeah. How good was Origin? Fuck, it was good to win Origin. I haven't even said anything about it.
Oh, Origin. How good was it? Hey? How good was
it.
Origin? Blueslander.
Yeah, I just loved it. I love seeing that. Oh, that's what I was going to say.
Oh,
It's bullshit that all these people saying it's bad for the game because Burton and the people off the bench, they walk in. Today you have two blokes shirt fronting each other and a whole bunch of blokes run in to pull them apart, essentially.
Here's Alawatu.
Olakawatu in his civvies.
Oh, please.
But 2 weeks for that.
That's bullshit, eh? That is the worst decision. It's almost like Jared Sutton made it.
Like, honestly, Corey Parker was going on about it, and this is why I sent a big message to SEN today. I'm like, it's a parent's responsibility to educate their kids on what you can and can't do. It's a coach's responsibility to educate kids. There's head highs in the games every game. There's deliberate face rubs. There's deliberate grubby shit every single game that they don't talk about. Corey Parker, before the game, made it in the news, told Carrigan he needs to rip Payne Huss's fucking head off. And I'll tell you what, Carrigan was playing like a man possessed in that match, I must say.
And he was the one in mood.
In fact, he had a really good game, and he played legally too. He wasn't illegal. But they're just dickheads, these ex-players all the time with their comments, especially the Corey Parker. He hates Canterbury.
Just talking it up, yeah.
He's like, he should have got 7 weeks, and we've got to protect our game and all this sort of shit. And I'm like, mate, that's absolute bullshit. No one's throwing a punch.
No.
And if you're in a game of rugby league now and you don't run in to help your mates, you're called a cat.
Well,
and I'm sorry. You try being the bloke. People get dropped over it these days.
Serraldo called it after round 1 this year, didn't he? None of our players will be bullied anymore.
No.
And everyone's on Rude Marnie's case now. Oh, he's pissed. No, mate, he's just doing what he can. Every job is to do. Look after his mates.
Yeah, and same as, but we'll look at all those other players. Jackson Hastings, fucking. We saw the face rubs from everyone. We saw that they were all laughing at the Bulldogs when they smashed the 66-0. The Seagulls did it a couple of years earlier. You know, no. If they want to. It's all just the theatrics of it. It's the perception of it. I get it. But the perception amongst the playing group and amongst the coaches is if your player's outnumbered and you don't go to help your mate out, there's something wrong with your culture. So spend people for that from their own teams that they get paid by is absolutely ridiculous. Olakawatu should have been free to play.
Absolutely.
And he's going to be pissed off when he comes back. And I'm not looking forward to it. So, you having a diary, mate?
Yeah, I guess having a diary, buddy.
Fuck.
I should.
You're a millionaire, mate.
After heart stuff. Hey?
Are you a millionaire?
Nah. Far from it, my friend. I'm job seeker now.
Oh, you lost your job?
Yeah, not allowed to work.
Oh, because of... Did you have an episode in the bus?
No. I had heart failure. I wasn't in the bus. I didn't kill anybody or anything like that.
Oh, yeah. Bloody hell.
So yeah, not allowed to work. Just sitting here taking tablets, basically.
Well, fucking hell, mate.
Sad life, Michael. Except
You allowed to drive a car?
when win.
You can do deliveries or something.
Just deliveries. I'll come and join you. Shall I?
Uber Dad Couriers, mate.
Yeah, we can be couriers together.
Yeah, I'm running a cupcake shop at the moment. Cupcake bar, best cupcakes in Australia. And I do the deliveries for them as well. So.
Oh, are you making them as well? Or?
No. I could.
Well, let's do that. We can make the cupcakes and you deliver them.
Oh, if you've got some money and want to buy the business, I'll work for you, mate.
No.
I think it's
couldn't have the great man Michael working for me.
I don't care.
You're a leader, mate. You're a leader.
It's all right, mate.
You're a leader.
It doesn't matter what numbers. It doesn't matter if the C's not next to your name, mate. Leadership's an attitude.
Exactly. We'll call you
Don't need
leader.
to be on your name. I was the captain of my soccer team for 13 years.
Hey, there you
I
go.
only used to lead the boys out probably, a few times a year.
Press my case, Your Honour.
There you go. All right, guys. Thanks for joining. Thanks again, Mark. You've been wonderful. You fired me up, which is good. I love it. Going to go have a bourbon now.
Maybe I said some funny things. Maybe I did some not so funny things.
Mate, I thought you did a great job.
All right, buddy. I'm here for you. 100%.
You too, mate.
Take care, bro.
Say hello. Come on the page and say hello.
I will.
Fire 'em up.
I will, buddy.
All right. See you, everyone.
Hooray.
Subscribe, like, all that sort of shit.
Fucking oath. Get onto that button. Subscribe that button.
Hit that like button. All right. See you, mate.
See you, brother.